Так, ну что, ребят, мы вроде как приехали практически на место. Сейчас должны будем найти здесь Магнуса Волкера. Может быть, чуть-чуть дальше, дядь?
Не знаю, такая здесь промзона. Но где-то здесь он, видимо, обитает. Жесткое местечко. Так, тут еще и с паркингом, кстати, вопрос хороший, открытый, я бы сказал. Надо паркинг найти.
Давай наберем ему.
Так. О, он сзади идет.
Оп, где? А, да ладно. Магнус!
What's up, man?
Hello, dude. Sorry, we are not on a Porsche.
Sorry, no Porsche today.
Right,
But-
yeah, that's going to change. Well, you're certainly blending in, which is the way you do it, right? What color is this?
It's Austin.
Olive oil.
Olive oil. Very, very subtle. You're looking for the number of the building, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see no number, but why don't you back it up and come on in?
Окей, perfect.
Parking space.
Just parking space.
Вот наш
Oh
бро.
my god, that's
You go.
awesome.
Come on in.
Стайлиш стайл. Дядь, вообще такое
Fucking
стильное
cool.
движение
Очень
происходит.
круто. Типа,
Блин,
у
вообще.
кого над ходоса, как вчера тусил.
Да.
Good morning. Just
Hello.
park it over there against the wall.
Okay. Magnus, maybe you remember when we first met with you in Texas, it was no bird, and now it is a little bird. So this is progress, yeah?
He's working on it.
Yeah, this is what I call baby beard. It's a good start.
this is better than
You got to
nothing.
start here in the middle. See, it's not
Okay.
just about the side. You know, you got to be able to go like this. So you got to be able to do that. But this is a very, very good start from when I first saw
What
you.
about my face?
Well, you got to try a lot
Oh,
harder.
man,
Quick
go
line
out of
races,
here.
Yeah. It's like
В общем,
the
когда
Downtown
мы-
LA Bearded Owner Club right here.
Когда мы первый раз с Магнусом Волкером встретились в Техасе, у меня не было баков, и он меня долго стебал насчет того, что у меня вообще нет растительности на лице. И вот сейчас она появилась, и он говорит, что ну нормально, как бы первый уровень.
Привет. Greetings from downtown LA. I want to welcome you guys to my warehouse. So here's the clicker. There's the door. Let's open it up and come on in. Let's take a look. So I know you're a car guy. You like all types of cars. I see you turned up in the subdued
Yeah.
BMW M4 convertible.
M4 is good.
I'm sure that's a whole lot of fun.
Magnus.
This is a different type of German fun. In
Oh
here.
my god, this is too cool here. I will go out of here.
Yeah, too cool. No, come on in. Take a look around.
Oh,
my
это
God.
все тачки Магнуса. Oh.
Oh shit, man.
So welcome to the garage. This is my collection. Essentially, it's from 64 911 onwards. And in the Porsche world, I'm a Porsche enthusiast. This is my collection of air-cooled and water-cooled 911s and a few other cars. So come on in, we'll take a look around and I'll show you a few more things.
Переведи, что он вначале наговорил. Это все его тачки.
Это все его тачки, он автоэнтузиаст, он собирает Porsche, и сейчас он расскажет про них что-то.
Коля will translate to Russian for Russian audience.
Yeah, you can subtitle it, but you know, ultimately what I always say is we all speak Porsche. It doesn't matter whether we speak English,
That's for
Russian,
sure, yeah.
or German. We all speak the language of Porsche.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think all true car guys, you just pick your drug of choice, whether it would be Porsche, BMW, or Ferrari, whatever it may be. I think all true car guys share the same connection. That is the love of the car, the freedom of the car. In reality, it brings all those guys together. We can all go for drives and tell stories,
Cool.
and kick tires. So do what you got to do and take a look around.
So, Магнус сказал, что не имеет значения, что не все знают
мы говорим
английский
на одном языке, ребята.
на языке автомобиля. Вот все, что он сказал, он просто немножко подлиннее. Sorry for little translating, but for
No
Russian
problem.
audience
Hey,
it will be...
Like I said, we all speak Porsche, so
Yeah.
hopefully we speak Russian, subtitle English, or whatever else needs to be done. So
Okay, amazing. So, Magnus, this is all your cars, yeah?
yeah. I don't build customer cars. I don't work on other people's cars. Like I say, I'm a
Yeah,
Porsche
working for yourself, yeah.
yeah. This is what I call my out-of-control hobby. So this is my own collection, and it's a combination of what I like to call sport-purpose streetable track cars, which is sort of these 6 or 7 here. And then, you know, I'm known mostly for doing these outlaw sort of hot rod builds like this. But as you can see, half the collection is sort of stock, unmodified.
Yeah.
But come in and I'll show you around. There's a few things we can look at.
Окей. Магнус сказал, что это все его машины, он не работает для кого-то, он работает только на себя.
So, I like variety. Yesterday I was driving this 928. It's a 1978 Euro 5-speed sunroof delete. First year of the 928. You'll see a few other cars when we go inside. I'm known as a 911 guy, but my goal is to own one of everything that Porsche has ever made. So
Cool.
front engine, mid-engine, rear-engined, air-cooled and water-cooled. So that's 924, 944, 928, 968, 914, Cayman, and then one of every generation of 911 from 1964 all the way up to the current 991.
Amazing.
So this is parts room and backstop. So I'm lucky that I have a lot of space, so I never throw anything away.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you take a look around, you know, there's a lot of stuff here. Deck lids, bumpers, fenders, wheels, tires, sheet.
Oh, Magnus, it's so cool here. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Then you come in here, this is more of the clean stuff. Steering wheels,
Wheels.
grills.
Oh my god. Can I touch?
Sure.
Ah,
So you do
history.
everything by yourself?
No, I have a little team, so you know, like I say, I just collect for myself, but I have a little group of people. I have a painter who's across the road working on a car right now, and then I have a part-time mechanic that comes in, and of course there's a lot of send out for powder coating and CAD plating and stuff that needs to be sent out. But it's all sort of done within a 30-40 mile radius of where we're at. Now you have to understand, I'm not always working on Porsches. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. I do a lot of travel, and
Yeah, I know.
we met in Austin.
Follow you.
At the WEC last year. I know you do a lot of travel. You're all over the world.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm sure this guy is too. So you know, this is
He's
the parts
starting.
stash. Yeah, this is more the dirty stuff: exhaust, oil coolers, fuel tanks, oil tanks.
Здесь вот элементы выхлопной системы, всякое другое. То есть у него вот склад, где можно, мне кажется, из него собрать несколько паршей олдскульных. So this is your new project?
No, that's an old project.
Old project.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's one of my favorites. But come through this way, I'll show you a few other things.
Oh my god. Вот этот Porsche просто чумовой. Very funny lights on this Porsche. Yeah, looks very unusual. Just
Yeah, the pop-up headlights. Yeah, I mean, this is a really cool car, the 928. I think in reality, looking back, the car was produced ahead of its time. You know, I look at the 928 today, and I see elements of the Porsche Panamera.
This is Porsche style.
You look at Panamera,
Oh,
little
really?
elements of the 928 in the design of the Panamera, I believe.
It's about Porsche.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You know, that
Traditions.
Car, this car is almost 40 years old.
And when I see this car and this car, I remember that these cars was the best, were the best in Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of Porsche, I think of turbos. So these are early
Yes.
3-liter turbos. This is 75.
This is crazy,
76,
very crazy
76,
cars.
77. So you look at the 930 turbo, that's the poster you might have had on your wall. The car just looks fast standing still. And to me, that's the car that I most associate with Porsche is the turbo, because it's that iconic shape, wide hips, aggressive looking. So that to me is what I love about Porsche, is in reality that DNA has not changed in over 50 years. That car back there is the first year, 1964. This one's a 1965. In a sense, the brand new car today of 2017, the shape is very, very similar. It may have got a little bit bigger and a little bit wider.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
engine's still in the back, and the
Yes.
DNA is still exactly the
Traditions.
same.
are the same. This is amazing.
You know, Porsche got the design and the engineering right first time, so they just keep improving and improving. You know, it's like a fine-tuned athlete, it just gets better with time.
Cool. What is your favorite? Or it is impossible to say.
No, it's not impossible, it's a great question. I have one very, very simple answer. This one right here, car number 277, it's the second Porsche I ever acquired. I acquired it in 1999, so I've had it 18 years. It's the car I'm most associated with. It appears in the majority of my videos, magazine articles, it's in Need for Speed. It's the car that I did all my track days in when I was doing club racing with the Porsche Owners Club. So it's a 1971 911T that's been modified for the track, but streetable track, and obviously just driven quite a lot.
Too beautiful. And for what? So this is holders of this part, yeah?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
You know, it was built similar to like a 73 RS and then just been modified over time.
How many miles do you do on this car, like per year?
I don't know, this one, believe it or not, the speedometer has been disconnected. So for me,
Oh, really?
it's not so much about how many miles, it's the quality of the miles. It's
Oh,
quality
right.
over quantity. For example, I walk to work, I live around the corner, so I don't commute. So to me, I pick the perfect time when I want to go drive.
Right, awesome.
And it's not so much about the amount of miles, but it's the memories that you get from those miles. So, you know, to me, I don't really worry about how many miles are on the car, what they do to the gallon. more about the adventure, the journey. You know,
It's awesome.
no two drives are ever the same type of thing.
What is it? You got to rent a car?
Yeah. No, I bought that sign probably 25 years ago.
Oh, really? It's so stylish.
At the Pomona
Where you
Swap
bought it?
Pomona Swap Meet here in LA, probably 25 years ago. So Ugly Duckling apparently was a cheap car rental service
Oh.
in LA back in the 70s and 80s,
Cool.
where they rented cars, I think, for $5 a day.
Your room is so garage is so stylish, so a lot of different elements, really cool.
Well, I'm fortunate to have the space to have it all under one roof, and to me, obviously, I'm passionate about the cars, but it's also the posters and the memorabilia.
It's very beautiful.
You know, this is a place to put the articles that magazines.
Oh, the best articles, yeah?
Well, you're about to write the best one, I think.
Magnus, do you remember when you started getting popular, started making interviews? When it started? How
So
to
when did
say?
you start your career?
It's a
at
great,
all?
well, it's a great question. I bought my first Porsche in 1992, so that was 5 years ago. From 92 to 2000, I just had one Porsche, but back then I also...
Those one?
No, that was the second one I bought.
Ah,
actually.
sorry, yeah,
First
yeah.
one I bought was a 1974 911 slant nose conversion. But back then I wasn't purely Porsche. I had a lot of diversity within my car collection. I'll run through the list. I had a 65 GT 350R Mustang replica, a 67 E-Type Jag, two 69 Super Bs, a 73 Lotus Europa, 79 308 GTB Ferrari, and a couple of Porsches. And little by little I realized once I joined the Porsche Owner Club and went to the track, took my aggressive street driving to the track in 2002, 15 years
So
ago.
before you were driving illegally on streets, like
Well,
racing?
like we all do, you know, we all still
Yeah,
get around.
yeah.
When
Same
we're young,
guy.
Yeah, when we're young, yeah.
On
Nothing's
M4.
changed. You know, nothing's changed.
agree,
We
I agree.
still do that today. But when I went to the track 15 years ago, I actually became a better driver because I was able to push the car to greater limits
Yeah.
and learn better car control and balance. So the point to the story is, once I'd started doing a lot of track days, and for the next 5-6 years, I probably did 40, 50 track days a year, I realized all those other non-Porsche cars were not nearly as much fun as the Porsche. So little by little, I got rid of all those Porsches. So this is a very long answer to your question, but I will come back to your question. So I did track days for probably the next 5, 6, 7 years, and then probably by 2008, 2009, I started doing less track days and started building what became known as these outlaw sport purpose streetable track cars.
You also based here in LA?
Yeah, I came to LA 30 years ago in 1986 when
Where
I
are
was
you originally
19.
from?
Sheffield, north of England.
Oh, I see.
So I'm originally English, but I've spent 3/5 of my life here in LA. This year I'm about to turn 50, so I came here when I was pretty young.
Will you celebrate?
Yeah, I'll celebrate for sure. I'll maybe go for a drive in a Porsche. So here's the answer to your question, though. Probably from like 09, 10, 11, I was building these sort of sport purpose streetable track cars a little bit under the radar. But the very first article I was ever in was in a Dutch Porsche magazine called RS Porsche in 2011. But the one that really put me on the map, which came out before the film came out, was right here. It was in Total 911, and it came out in very, very early 2012. But the article was shot in 2011. So this was the first major article, really only 5 years ago. And in that year of 2012, October 15th, Tamir Moscovici's film Urban Outlaw came out a little under 4.5 years ago. And that sort of changed my life in a certain way, because I didn't really change, but more people became aware of what I was doing and the Porsches that I was building. But I think ultimately my relatability goes beyond Porsche, because like I said earlier on, all true car guys share the same passion, and that is a passion to chase, to build, and ultimately to drive. And that transcends whether you're a Porsche guy, BMW guy, Ferrari guy, Sport Import Tuner guy, Ford Focus guy.
Right.
We all share that same passion of the need for speed.
Right.
So I think my relatability reached a wider audience, and then obviously I got on Facebook and Instagram. As you know, on Facebook and Instagram, you just kind of go, let's do it right now.
Yeah?
You just kind of go, well, you stay there, I'm going to do
Oh,
this
okay.
right now, 'cause it'd be great. You just kind of pull up your Instagram,
Yep.
and you go, okay, you know, I'll get on that. Punch up your photo, pull a little story.
Whoa.
You know, let's take a photo of this guy, turn around so we're not in the, go that way, I'll get a better photo of you too. So here we go,
Yay.
point, click. And then right, as you can see, that's going to become my Instagram story.
Oh, history.
So boom, there it is, you're in the story.
Great.
Perfect technology, right?
Yeah, so you know, that's
Back
kind-
in 2001, there was nothing.
Well, here's what's crazy. I only got an iPhone about after Urban Outlaw came out, so not even 5 years ago.
Oh.
But here's what's crazy, you know, you get the iPhone and check out this. Look how many photos I have. Can't take enough photos.
You should buy
Oh.
256.
Well, that's it. I'm going to get the 256. So the long answer to your question is, first article came out in 2012. Then I got an iPhone, started putting photos on Instagram. And
So
people
everything
started following.
changed from that moment, right? Like the way how you share your...
Well, in a sense, before I was kind of under the radar, only local people knew about me. And like I say, I'm not a business. This is an out-of-control hobby for me. So
Sure.
you can't come in and say,
Sounds great.
Magnus, build me that car. I don't build customer cars. So for me, it's just a matter of sharing my experience with other people. And like I say, if they're along for the ride and like what I do and relate to what I'm doing, great. So why don't you come on through? I'll show you a few more things because there's more cars to see.
Oh, so these lights, this is your style, yeah? As I know.
Yeah, if you want to talk about what I've done to cars, we can do that right here. This is a perfect example right here. So if you turn around, I'll walk you through the cars. So I talk about building these, what I call sports purpose, streetable track cars. In essence, it's a car you could go do track days, you could get in it, drive this car to Willow Springs, which is only 100 miles from here, do a track day and then drive it back. So my area of sort of fascination with Porsche is late 60s, early 70s. So I gain inspiration from that era, which to me is the classic era of historical Porsche racing, late 60s, early 70s. So I pull inspiration from that era, throw it in the blender, and this is what comes out. So this is kind of a perfect pairing of subtle touches that I've done to a 67S and also to a 964. The 964 is my latest build. The 964 is an interesting car because
Yes.
5-6 years ago, this was probably one of the most unloved Porsches.
Oh, really?
People didn't really relate to the 964 for the most part. But that's kind of changed over the past 5-6 years. A lot of people are doing backdates and a lot of people are doing wide-bodied conversions. My goal was to keep the 964 DNA intact, i.e. narrow body, not backdated, but add my own personality to it. So this I would describe as my best build to date in the sense of both style and performance, because it has cues from a 356, has cues from a Roof Yellowbird, Porsche Sport Classic, and then I've added my own touches to it, such as this is a louvered steel front fender, which is actually individually stamped one by one into the fender. This is not an insert. Now this is something that even Porsche had not really done. Sure, the 917 has a louvered fender, but that is a insert into a flat fender. These are individually stamped in. So that's a custom little touch. The gas cap, which is, you know, straight into
great.
the fender, is a custom touch. But if you look at this car, we'll step back a little bit. There's a lot of very subtle details that at first you don't notice. If you look at the hood, you see that center channel's a lot wider over there. See here, it's been narrowed.
Uh-huh.
So you see the gap here, pretty wide.
Yes.
See the gap here, pretty narrow.
Yes, yes.
Now, notice what I've also done. The roof has been channeled. See
Oh.
this roof is flat?
Yes, yes, yeah.
So here it's more rounded and it's channeled. And see here the rain gutter? See here, this is rain gutter delete. So see how it's just that seam has been cut down?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this rain gutter delete, and then you see how the fenders have been slightly flared and rolled. And then if you come to the back, it's got a custom early turbo tail that's been reprofiled. The turn signal indicators have been integrated into the body. And then that channel that goes all the way over the roof also comes over the turbo tail.
Great.
So here is the heart and soul of any Porsche. This motor is a 993 motor that's been built out to 3.8 RS spec. So this car is a performance car. As it sits right now with all the fluids in it, it weighs 2,540 pounds, which is really light. It's on KW coilover suspension, Brembo Club Race brake package. So the power to weight ratio, it's got approximately 300 horsepower to the wheel in a car that weighs a little over 2,500 pounds. So a really, really great power to weight ratio. This car here is also a little bit of a rocket. Probably weighs under 2,200 pounds, short wheelbase car.
This metal sounds
Amazing.
And this has a short stroke 2.5 twin plug motor that dynoed at 278 horsepower out of a normally aspirated 2.5.
Man, it looks like it's brand new, you know, it's like from like manufacturer right
Well,
now.
yeah,
or maybe better.
this actually is a brand new motor, but it's a 50-year-old car. That motor's a 1967, the car's a 1967.
What is these boxes?
Oh, MSD, you know, ignition boxes.
Cool.
So what I like to do, we talk about details that I've added into the car. if you come here and look, it's got the custom plaid interior.
Oh. Can I touch?
Yeah, sure, you can get in, but let's talk about a few more things. I also teamed up with 1552. These guys are the guys that make all the wheels for Ken Block. So we now have my own signature wheel.
Oh,
So a lot of my cars are running my own wheels. This is the 52 Outlaw wheel, inspired by the original Fuchs.
Yeah.
And then
Vintage design, but with your style, yeah.
yeah, and then I also teamed up with Momo to get my own signature steering wheel.
Oh, this is exclusive.
This is your wheel?
Yeah, we actually released them for the Rennsport reunion a few years ago when they sold out. But why don't you come around here and you can sit in it?
Oh, thanks.
So I've been fortunate enough to team up with some pretty important partners such as Porsche, Momo, Mobile One, Pirelli.
Momo Special Magnus Walker Edition.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, so beautiful here. Very cool style. Amazing.
I like the tires on this.
Yeah, I tend to run Hoosiers quite a lot.
So a lot of soul here, Magnus.
Yeah, and this
So
is
a lot of soul.
You nailed it right there. A lot of soul, soul, character, and patina. You know, they develop over time. But it's like all these cars. You know, even the ones that are not full builds, like the 65 and 67 and the 78. These still have this sport purpose, readable track look, but they also have the DNA, their own DNA. I think you can look at the cars that I've built and say, okay, that's a Magnus Walker 911. Because it's just little things that are a little bit different.
Your signature.
Yeah. You know, they've got that character. It's like this car. It's the 310th 911 ever built, but it's kind of got an interesting, let's call it, gentleman racer paint scheme. Almost like a 60s Monte Carlo rally car. But it's got the custom interior.
Yeah.
Same as the 67 here. This is also rolling on the Outlaw wheels, as you can see.
This is official.
Name of this model, Outlaw Wheels.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah?
the 52 Outlaw. So the company 1552, that is the wheel company. They make wheels for Ken Block, and then I was fortunate enough to have those guys approach me to make my own wheel that we called the 52 Outlaw. So the turbo here is rolling on them, all in black.
Looks very angry.
And then so is the 76 turbo here with the gold ones.
Oh, I love gold one.
This color, just crazy.
And then my favorite car, 277. Of course, we couldn't not put the wheels on this car. As this is my signature car, my go-to car.
So now you're trying to change all wheels to this.
No, not all of them. I mean, it just
Magnus,
depends on
Magnus.
the car. I mean, the interesting thing about the wheel is this is how it starts out. It's a billet piece of aluminum,
Yep.
and the wheels are made to order. So this was the original inspiration, the original Fuchs. So our goal was to do something inspired by that, but just a little bit different, as if it might have left the factory in that same period of time. You know, but what we did was essentially we hollowed out the spokes and changed the profile. So now we make the wheels in everything from 15-inch all the way up to 20-inch, and they're made here in downtown LA. So that's the story of the wheel, and like I say, you got to keep rolling.
Cool. What about your tires? What usually you choose for your cars?
For the longest time, I was always running Hoosiers. So you look.
This is
like,
drag racing classic, as I know.
Yes,
yeah?
yes. So a lot of my cars had always been on Hoosiers. Recently, I've been running Pirellis on certain cars. So Hoosiers and Pirellis are pretty much the go-to tire.
And if we're
Talking about motor oil.
Well, Mobile One, that's my oil provider. So I run a lot of Mobile One in a lot of my cars. I've done the SEMA show with Mobile One a couple of times. So, you know, it's good to have Mobile One on my side supporting what I do and allowing me to go pedal to the metal, as we say.
Cool. And if we're talking about brake system, oil there.
Well, most of these cars, believe it or not, are running stock brakes with the exception of the latest two builds. So the 964, I teamed up with Brembo. So this has got Brembo Club Race setup. And then on the 67S, I teamed up with StopTech. So if you look at this is running the StopTech floating rotor and caliper. So these are two performance builds. You know, they've got plenty of horsepower and a lightweight shell. So obviously sometimes you do need to stop. So part of the package really when it comes to stopping is a great compound of combination of tire and brake, obviously the correct caliper and brake pad combo. And then also you need a sticky tire which helps you corner and also really shortens your stopping distance. So it's a combination of getting those two elements together with the best rubber you can find, and obviously the most aggressive streetable brake pad caliper compound.
Cool.
So that is what the goal is here with these cars.
Do you have another cars that you want to get to your collection, or your collection is finished and everything
No,
is
let me
perfect?
show you. Follow me through. It's a great question. You're asking me about, do I have other cars that I want in my collection? Well, in the Porsche collection, like I said earlier, I'm all about variety. So front engine, mid-engine, rear engine, both air and water cooled. So I spoke a little bit about 924s, 928s, 914s. So follow me through and I'll show you. This is only part of it.
Magnus, give me 5, you are too cool.
Here we go, high five. All right, so through more doors.
Oh,
Through more doors, come on in.
so cool.
Let me turn off the music for you while
Yeah.
you photograph the 914.
Oh,
So here's a 914. So air-cooled mid-engine, this is 1972. We talk a little bit more about variety. This is what I call the non-911 room.
I remember in Porsche list, this Porsche was the most handling Porsche.
This
944.
is a pretty special car. It's a 924 Carrera GT. Porsche only made 406 of these cars. This is one of those 406.
What's the difference between this one and the default one?
Should be
Well, that's a
performance.
stock 1980 turbo, horsepower, suspension, it's wider body. So essentially this is the streetable race version of that 1980 924 turbo.
Seats looks very comfortable.
210 horsepower, wider body, GRP fiberglass fenders and hood. So it's just Porsche made various race versions of this car that raced at Le Mans, the 924 GTR. I think they made like 50 of them. This was like the streetable version of that car.
If you are talking about seats, is it your style or it is stock look?
Well, this is actually reupholstered but stock factory. So originally this car had this interior.
Very cool, original decision.
You can sit in it.
Thank you.
So when I got this car, it was all silver. I just added a little bit of color and then put it on my own wheels. So added my own personality to it.
Smellings of history.
Yeah,
So it's all paint, the blue one, or it's
I don't
vinyl?
wrap anything. So everything you see is paint. So nothing
Only
here is
stickers.
wrapped.
Only
stickers.
I see.
So I'm committed. People say, why don't you wrap it in case you change your mind? I'm like, I'm not changing my mind, you know. Once I've decided, that's it. There's no going back.
Awesome.
So here's another 914.
With crazy exhaust system.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting here, though. I'm currently working on a 75 turbo across the road, and this is all the suspension that we pulled off that's going to be powder coated and bead blasted and cleaned up. And then here's the motor and transmission out of that
Whoa.
car. So that was just removed from the car yesterday. So we talked a little bit about the 924 Carrera GT. This, in essence, probably is its little brother. It's Porsche's first production front-engine water-cooled turbo, the 1980 924 turbo. And this is factory interior.
Really?
Original
This is
fac-
crazy,
from the
absolutely. Wow.
Factory original interior.
Too creative. Maybe they took some weed before
Yeah,
creating
maybe.
it, yeah?
Or some
Oh,
hallucinogenic.
this smell inside the car.
Yeah.
Просто чума, Коля, я в шоке с такого
Every car
креатива.
smells different, right?
Well, yeah.
Especially for you.
Yeah, yeah. You know, a lot of these cars are minimum 30, 40 years old, so you never know what's happened in those past 30,
Yeah,
40
sure.
years. But that's what's great about vintage Porsches, or truth be told, any vintage car. They cover all the senses. First you see them, then you smell them, you hear them,
Man.
you feel them.
I own E30 from 1989, and I kind of feel that you're talking about, because I have the same feeling, because this car has a story.
Yeah, it's character, soul, and of course I always say without the people, the enthusiast, the car never gets driven. So some people, you know, really like to brag about a car that has 500 miles. To me, I have no interest in that.
Yeah.
But you come to me with a car that's got 500,000, I'm interested in that. Because it's all the history and
Yes.
story. So, you know, over the years, people do things to the cars, and it's all part of the history of the car. And that's ultimately what makes the car special. I'm more interested in high mileage cars than these collectors that have a car with 1,000 miles on it that they never drive and they just go to car shows.
Do you believe in cars karma?
Yeah, I do. I'm a
So
big
some
believer
of
in
them, they have like bad karma,
Yeah.
some they have good one.
that. Well, I think it's the personality of the owners and what's gone into the car, you know.
But you never know, for like 500k miles, you never know.
Yeah, you
Right,
never know
so-
what's happened there.
So it's always a lottery.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of amazing parts. You can
Yeah.
build a lot of Porsches with
This
it.
is the overflow of parts that don't fit in the garage. But let me show you around the rest of the building because there's a few more things that are interesting to look at. So like I said, I never throw anything away. So wheels and tires.
Even used one? You
Yeah,
just-
I don't throw anything. You never know when you need rollers. So these are all actual wheels and tires, not just tires. There's wheels inside them.
Oh yeah.
You know, just like over here. These were the wheels on 277 back in the day.
Ah, slick.
Oh,
Beautiful.
The Rouges. Here's a great example of what I'm about to do. I've got a set of Recaro race bucket seats over here. And what we're going to be doing is, instead of having the felt liner, we're going to be covering them in leather.
Oh.
Do
Oh,
you think that it
amazing.
Will be, hot, you know, like in hot weather, especially when you're racing?
That's for a streetable track car.
Okay.
You always wind the windows down.
Yeah.
Leather is extremely awesome. Where it from? Oh,
Well, it comes from a cow.
You
amazing.
made it by yourself?
No, it comes from a cow. This is just raw, untreated. So if you look in the 964, you know, it has similar seats. You know, I just like them to be slightly imperfect. You know, nothing needs to be perfect. So the goal here is just to create something a little bit more textured.
Cool.
So anyway, we'll show you a few other things. I'm doing some stuff with Hot Wheels, so designing cars.
Magnus,
for
I'm
Hot
sorry. What is it? For what?
Oh, this is shipping tape.
Ah.
You know, well, there's no tape in it now, but for when we do boxes and stuff.
Okay, sorry.
You know, we have a little T-shirt line that we ship out, so that's for closing the boxes and stuff.
Let's maybe talk about your T-shirts too.
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about this. You know, I said I've been doing a few things with Hot Wheels, so here's a perfect example. I've designed 7 cars for Hot Wheels. So Hot Wheels is like the #1 toy brand in the world.
Yeah,
So for
sure.
me, this was a real honor to be able to do stuff with Hot Wheels. I'd spoke about doing stuff with Momo.
Yeah.
There's the banner for the... When we launched the steering wheel, we didn't just launch a steering wheel. We did a road trip from here with 100 Porsches to celebrate Momo's 50th anniversary to the Rennsport reunion at Laguna Seca. So we all drove from here to Laguna Seca. So anyway, the merchandise, you know, like I said, I don't build cars, so there's nothing you can really purchase there, except we have a little merchandise line, which essentially is just baseball caps and T-shirts and stuff like that. So patches, you know, the iconic 277 cap. You know, one of the things I always do like to say, one of my slogans is get out and drive, pedal to the metal.
Ah,
Pedal to
yeah.
the metal.
Do you have a big production team about it? Who is creating it? Only
Well,
you?
Basically, I come up with the concept, the idea, and then I have a designer, graphic guy that will do the layout and illustration. So when it comes to the T-shirts, it's a combination of logos and then pictures of my cars. So, you know, essentially it's just a way of supporting what I do, I guess, if you like, want to wear a T-shirt type of thing. So the line is small, but we're looking to build the line into something a little bit bigger.
It's actually pretty big. I mean, you have
Yes,
a bunch of
yes.
different designs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's quite a few designs, and I think there's a lot of room for growth, you know, and expanding beyond T-shirts into apparel and some automotive accessories. Well, let me show you around the rest of the building, because my background is clothing. I was a clothing designer. We're also in the film location business.
So lot of style everywhere, Magnus. So really, so cool, so beautiful.
Well, I think the common thread, which we'll find when I walk you around, that links to 3 things that I've done in the 30 years of LA, is my own personal style that I've sort of incorporated, not just into the Porsches, but into the clothing that I designed, and also the buildings that we've converted into film locations. So I'll show you around a little bit, and this will give you an idea. This was the clothing brand Sirius. It was rock and roll. So we outfitted everyone from Alice Cooper to Madonna. So a lot of these bands we either gave them wardrobe for, or went on tour with, or, you know, did some sort of apparel connection with. So that's my background, rock and roll. This is where we used to make all the clothing samples.
yeah.
So this is the clothing line, or what was the clothing line right here.
Oh, you also creating posters. Yeah.
Well, like I said, we're going to expand on the apparel into, I have a book coming out this year.
Cool.
And then obviously posters, calendars, stuff
They're
like that.
so cool, man. Ouch.
Man, this guy looks like you.
Yeah, it kind of looks like me, right? Here's one of my former cars. watch your step over here.
What do you mean former car? You sell it? You sold it?
That one I sold a few years ago. Sometimes, occasionally, I have sold some cars, but for me it's not a business. Sometimes I sell a car to buy something else, or I have to pay some bills.
So overall, how many people works in your company?
I have a small team, believe it or not, it's only 2 people. And that's mostly based on
No
the filming.
way.
2 people.
Only 2 people working
Yeah.
here? You and your
For
graphic
everything.
Me, and then I have a person that does production, Sergio, who sort of helps ship stuff, and then Karina that handles the filming. So yeah, just 2 people. Less involved.
This is the level.
designer?
Ah, BMW lover.
This is the real my passion.
There you go.
Yeah.
So come on in, this is my office.
Wow, man! Ah!
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to see in here.
Yes, we need hours for it.
Can I get you guys anything? Bottle of water? Red Bull?
No, we're good. We're good.
Good? Okay. Yeah, so just walk around, point at stuff.
Здесь можно фильм нужно снимать по этому мероприятию, по персону.
Amazing. Wow.
So this is my desk where I spend a lot of time right here.
And a lot of posts
To Instagram flying from here, yeah.
No, Instagram is always done, outside on the phone, not so
yeah.
much on the desk. But I was talking a little bit about the Hot Wheels. These are all the Hot Wheels lined up.
Cool.
And I spoke a little bit about when I was doing track days in 277 back in 2002. So this is 15 years ago, but this was me doing track days and club racing.
So a lot of history.
A lot
Cool.
of history in 277, yeah. Most people don't realize that because, as you can see, this is, 10, 12 years before the film came out.
Amazing.
And then it's cool to have stuff like this, your cars made into models. And,
Yeah.
but, this just all happened organically for me. There was no master plan. It's literally, I say yes.
Man,
or
you
I
live
say
the
no.
dream. Really. That's
This is my area. It's like what I call disorganized chaos. You just
Yeah,
go
sure.
with the flow and see what happens.
So a lot of
Different things.
Whoa.
We'll go out there, don't worry. I'll give you the whole tour.
So how long ago did you move to this place?
Well, to backtrack, to answer your question, we bought this building in 2000.
Oh, so you own the whole building?
We own the whole building. But if you remember, I came to LA in 1986. So we bought this building in 2000 and been here for 17 years. The building's pretty interesting. It's built in 1902. So for LA, 115 years old is pretty old. It's 26,000 square feet. And so one time we actually lived in the building upstairs. So let me take you on a tour. I'll show you.
Yeah, let's continue.
Magnus, I'm really shocked by sizes of your company.
Very cool.
The building is sort of a pivotal part to my story because if we hadn't bought the building, we would have never got into the film location business. If we'd never got into the film location business, I'd have never really been able to afford to have all the Porsches that I have. So we took a little leap of faith, bought this building in 2000. At the time, people thought we were crazy, but it enabled us to run our clothing company. We also lived here. Then we got into the film location business, and along the way, I had all the space and time and motivation and passion to expand my out-of-control Porsche hobby. But if we didn't have the building to put it all in, it would probably never have happened. So sometimes, a lot of times I go with what I call gut feeling. If it feels right, you just do it. Even if someone says, nah, that's a stupid idea, don't do it. What motivates me is just doing stuff I like to do. And I don't get sidetracked by asking other people's opinions on what do you think I should do. If I'd asked other people's opinions, I'd have probably never done half that stuff that I did to the Porsches, because people would go, oh no, that's not right, you can't do it that way. But my background's always been just do your own thing. I left school at 15, came to America at 19, so I don't tend to follow too many rules. I tend to set my own path. So that doesn't always work for a lot of people, but there's a certain people that I call street smart, these go-getter types, and that's kind of what I am. You just find what you like to do and keep doing it.
Cool.
So that's the story. Now I was talking a little bit about doing stuff with Mobile One. So this is stuff that I've done with Mobile One.
This is very cool collaboration.
And if we are talking about all your followers on Instagram and other social networks, do they motivate you? What they're doing for you?
You know, for me, it's great to have the support of all the people out there on Instagram and Facebook. You know, like I say, I think we all share the same passion, the passion for the car. I have spoken about that all the time. I think that's the relatability. And for me, you know, I just like to share what I'm doing. And if people enjoy it, that motivates me even further just to get out there and continue doing it. And on the plus side, you know, a perfect example is what happened with me last week in Miami. I'd gone down to Miami for the Race of Champions. And whilst I was down there, I ran into someone that offered me a drive in his Ferrari F40. So that's something that I don't think would ever have happened without the support of people out there on Instagram. So I'm highly motivated just to keep on doing what I'm doing, and I appreciate everyone that's out there supporting me, showing that same passion, and also allowing me to drive their cars, whether it's a Ferrari F40 or what
Maybe
I
you
love
want to
do.
drive BMW E30?
Sure, I'll drive the BMW.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, one of my sort of top 20 cars, I have a few of them that are non-Porsches, but 2002 TII and then 3.0 CSL Batmobile.
Yeah.
That's a car that's on
insane.
my list. Also the M1 I really like. A couple of years ago I had the opportunity to drive an i8. I really like that. So, you know, people give me the opportunity to drive what I call OPP. That's other people's Porsches. Cars that I can't afford to own, such as 959s, Carrera GTs, 918s, and some of the more exotic raw race car stuff.
Did you try 911?
911?
Oh, 918.
Yeah, I've driven the 918. I've driven the three Porsche supercars, which are the 959, the Carrera GT, and the 918. And I'll sum them up pretty briefly. The 959 is an awesome car, but let's say under 4,000 RPM, it's no different to like a mid-80s Carrera in a sense of everything's very familiar, it's in the same place. The 918, exceptional car, but relatively easy to drive at a certain speed. You can just get in and go. The one that's the real challenge is the Carrera GT, because that is a real race car for the street, and you just need to be super focused all the time. So
Yeah, V10 manual gearbox.
Yeah.
That's true.
So out of the three Porsche supercars, the one that's the most intoxicating really is the Carrera GT. The 918 may do everything a little bit better because it's more modern and more efficient, but it's not quite as challenging and stimulating to drive. It's actually an easier car to drive. And for me, that was one of the great things about driving that F40, the Ferrari F40 last week in Miami. It was a car that you had to be really, really focused in and be aware of the whole time because, you know, things go wrong
F40
pretty quick
is-
sometimes.
It's my dream too.
Yeah, that and the 288 GTO. So I'm a Porsche guy, but I'm a lover of all things that are car related. So that's what's great about everyone out there that's supporting me, allowing me to drive their cars, and also hitting that little like button on the Instagram.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of followers on the Instagram, I've noticed.
Yes, a little bit.
For example, tomorrow we're starting a 5-day TV show. So it's
Right here?
upstairs.
Oh.
So it's everything from small stuff like guys coming in like you guys with an iPhone and shooting stuff for the web,
Yep.
all the way through to big budget TV, film, movie. So basically they come in and rent the space and shoot content, whether it be a commercial or a music video or a TV show or a film.
So you just created a room with like specific furniture, right?
Well, we didn't create it. Let's ask me that question when we get upstairs.
Okay, cool. That's awesome, man. I'm so excited.
Колямба.
Очень, я сейчас немножко
Шокер.
в шоке, да, ну
Шоке.
серьезно.
Going
So we'll go
upstairs.
through another door. So welcome to where I used to live.
It's a castle.
Yeah. Whoa.
So
Too luxury.
I'll stop here briefly. I spoke a little bit downstairs about the building being a pivotal part to my story. People thought we were crazy when we bought the building. The building was built in 1902, 26,000 feet. So we did live here up until 2004, almost 12, 13 years ago. But over the past 17 years, we've utilized this space for film location rental, meaning we rent out the space that we're in to production companies for everything from small stuff to big stuff.
So it was your main business?
Yeah, but we fell into it by accident. We didn't plan on building a film location. We built our dream live work loft, myself and my wife, bought the building and said, okay, we're going to live here. We're going to build our dream live work space where we lived upstairs and worked downstairs. So we didn't decorate it to become a film location. It just happened by accident. There was an article in the LA Times about loft gentrification, people living in former industrial buildings. So for us, we accidentally fell into the film location business. It wasn't planned. But remember, I said downstairs, I'm one of those adaptive guys that adapts to the environment. We realized the film location business was something that was pretty lucrative.
Yeah.
So that has enabled me the freedom to travel all over the world talking to people about Porsches and cars.
Yeah.
So that became the day job. But we took that leap of faith. We didn't figure out, let's get into the film business. It happened by accident. Kind of like the Urban Outlaw film happened by accident and then changed the past 4 or 5 years of my life, you know, because of the cars and relatability and travel and everything. So sometimes in life you never know where that path's going to take you. And I'm kind of a classic example of that. And you said downstairs, you were talking about style and design. And I said the common thread that connected the clothing, the buildings and the Porsches were my own interpretation of my style that have been incorporated into the projects such as clothing, buildings and cars. So let's take a walk around and you'll probably see what I'm talking about in a little bit. So I've just talked about the clothing had its own style, it was unique, it was rock and roll. I spoke a little bit about the Porsches that I've built and designed, having the influence from the 60s and 70s. Now the building upstairs was our interpretation of a mini Hertz castle / English Gothic stately home, mixed in with 60s pop art. So in reality those things don't necessarily go together, but yet again they're thrown in the blender. So you see it's a combination of old school Gothic looking stuff mixed in with 60s pop art looking stuff, all under one roof.
And that one is kind of modern room, right? The next one.
Yeah, well, modern 60s in a sense.
Man, this space is huge. It's
So,
really huge.
Well, 26,000 feet is pretty big. So like I say, we didn't step into this to build a film location. We built our dream, live, work house.
It's
and
not
then
a,
the
it's
film
not a
came back
house,
to
it's a castle.
Well,
really.
maybe. I call it a loft, but you know, there's a lot of style in here.
Как тебе диванчик вон тот, Коль?
Yeah, that's awesome. So people shoot something here on vacation?
Yeah, all the time, and we probably film 80 to 100 days a year.
Really? Here in this room? What kind of videos are there?
It's been music, you know, sometimes, you know,
Вот это я понимаю.
let's say someone shoots here in the corner, someone's singing. You
Can
don't
I
know
sit?
you're in the kitchen.
Can I sit? Can I
Yeah, you
try
can
to
sit.
sit? Oh.
So this is kind of a classic example. If you look through the loft, you'll see a lot of red, white, and blue. Growing up in England, I was highly influenced
Очень
by
необычно.
Americana, such as Evel Knievel, Superman, Captain America. So I don't know if you noticed downstairs, there's a lot of red, white, and blue desktops.
Yeah.
It's sort of a combination of obviously being English, the Union Jack's red, white, and blue, but it's my love for Americana, like I say, Evel Knievel, Captain America, Stars and Stripes. So that theme is in a lot of my cars, like 277 is red, white, and blue. It's also Brumo's Porsche's colors, it's Captain America, it's Evel Knievel. So that continuity goes through a lot. You look up here, there's a lot of red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of color and a lot of individuality. So we filmed in every single room of this space. Because it's pretty adaptable and pretty diverse. Passion. Like I say, passion goes a long way. If you're into something, you don't stop till
And
it's
you know,
done.
it smells here, it's like a real charge, you know? I don't know why, it's like a smell of, you know, candles and all that stuff.
Well, you know, it's a 115-year-old building. It's wood, it's brick, it's the elements. It's like the cars with the story, you know? The building's no different. I don't like things that are too new, too polished.
So, yeah, that was my question to you. What do you think about a new 911, for example? How you can compare it? For example, just imagine in 30 years, right? Will we be thinking about the current 911 like we think
The
right
way
now?
I sum it up, I spoke a little bit downstairs about how the cars evolved over 50 years. So the new cars, the 991 Gen 2s, in essence, yes, they do everything better, they're faster, they're safer,
Sure.
but they're not as engaging, you know. To me, it's not always about how fast you can go from A to B, it's about the journey. So if I get in my 50-year-old 65 911 and go up Angeles Crest Highway, it's probably not nearly as fast if I go in the new Gen
Sure,
2 996. But the reward is greater in the older car. Sure, the new car's faster, but it's not as involved. You know, to me, there's something mechanical about shifting gears for yourself. You know, and 100 miles an hour in a 50-year-old car feels pretty fast. You know, compared to 100 miles in a new car feels like you're doing nothing. So new cars, I guess, are more practical, but they lack the soul, character, and personality. But the interesting question will be, we'll come back in 30 years
Yeah.
and say, hey, what was the 2017 911 like compared to one that's going to be in 2050? So things are always evolving, you know. But to me, I'm old school. I like the vintage stuff. But from you know, and it's also like
it will be vintage in 30 years. Right?
yeah, it will be. You know, for me, it's like I said earlier. I don't necessarily drive a lot because I live around the corner and I walk to work. If I had to drive, let's say, from here to Santa Monica, which takes an hour in traffic, a new 99 would be perfect.
Yeah.
Because, you know, driving down the 10 freeway where you never get out of first or
That's
second gear,
insane.
as much as I love driving, to me that's not driving, that's commuting.
Yeah.
So I think you pick the car for where you're going. You know, I don't always take the fastest car. Sometimes, you know, you might take one that's a little bit slower depending on...
Do you have any daily car just for commuting?
You park right next to it downstairs. So on the way out, you can look at that.
Oh, this is BMW 4 Series?
3 Series. It's
Oh
my
my
wife's former car, so that's the practical daily driver.
Yeah, so Magnus is BMW guy.
Yeah,
Eventually.
I told you I like the 2002,
Yeah.
the 3.0, the M1. You know what Porsche needs to do? Porsche needs to build a car that's a smaller version of the Panamera that goes after the 3 Series, 4 Series, BMW market and the Audi market.
Daily commute.
Daily commuter. Like, as much as I love the Panamera, it's just too big.
It's too big.
And, you know, as great as the Macan is and the Cayenne is, it's an SUV.
Yeah.
I think if Porsche built a smaller
Need
Panamera
one more model.
that was like a 3 Series,
Cayman?
well,
Or
Cayman's
it's
still
too
two-door
small.
sports
Yeah,
car.
4 doors need.
They need a 4-door sedan that's the size of a 3 Series BMW, which is a smaller Panamera.
I think after our video they will hear you.
I'm sure. Well, I've told them already.
You have a plateau.
Wow.
Yeah, below is the garage,
Oh man.
and then we're going to go on the rooftop. So this is a hammock. Normally I've got a little hammock hanging there. You know what we'll do? Stay there 1 minute, turn the camera.
okay.
Well, keep the camera rolling.
Ок, ок.
You stay there, I'll be back. 1 second.
Alright.
Сейчас что-то отожгет, я вот уверен. Сейчас
Коля, я вообще в шоке просто.
Это очень серьезно, это не про контент дело.
Ты
Дело
знаешь,
про
прежде-
эмоциональное вообще.
Я вот хочу сказать прежде всего, что я, ну, вот в таком...
Give me a hand.
Whoa.
Come here. You give me a hand. Take that one. You go that side.
Не дали пофилософствовать нам. О, кайфушница какая.
There you go. Now you can lay on it. Be careful, it rocks a little bit, but
Колямба, давай.
there you go, California style.
Yeah,
Just
nice.
the bus. Give me new Porsche, please, or the old one. 964 or something. Awesome.
All right, let's go on the big roof. Big roof is where the good view is.
Давай, вставай, что разлегся.
Догоним.
Now you gotta come and see the view from the big roof.
Вау.
I always talk about my favorite road. It's right there, Highway 2, Angeles Crest Highway. That goes up to Newcomb's Ranch. That's where I was yesterday in the 928, so that's my favorite road.
Yeah.
So I talk about my driving being quality over quantity. I don't necessarily drive a lot of miles, but the miles that are spirited or memorable. Memorable miles are important to me. So that is my go-to road over there, Angeles Crest Highway. What's great about it is 18 miles from where we're standing. We can be there in less than a half an hour any day of the week, and it goes up to almost 8,000 feet. Yesterday I was in snow, so right now it's probably 70 degrees in downtown LA. You can see the snow on the mountain there.
Yes?
See it?
Yeah.
We can be there in less than an hour in snow. That to me is what's great about Southern California and especially downtown LA, is the accessibility to these world-class driving roads. Less than 60 miles and we're in snow, up a spectacular road where we get to an altitude of 8,000 feet. So Southern California, you've got the ocean, the desert and the mountains, so you can ski, snowboard, you can hike in the desert, and you can go surf in the ocean all in the same day.
That's
Good
why I
place
love
for living.
California.
Exactly. Especially Southern California.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because 60 miles you're in the snow, 20 miles that way you're in the ocean.
This is what I do. Yeah, I
So
love it.
you know what I'm talking about.
Magnus, we are shocked. You got amazing.
I got a few
Amazing
more
house.
things to show you, so why don't you guys follow down?
I'm surprised that you don't use the rooftop, you know, as a creative space for something.
Yeah, it's the one place that we never finished. What the goal was to have built a whole deck on top. So like a helicopter landing pad, where we have this view.
But do you need some permission from like legal guys?
Possibly, but I'm the outlaw, so we
Oh,
don't really ask for permission, you know?
I got you.
And
One moment, sorry.
Когда еще здесь у Магнуса поваляюсь.
Магнус спустил Аланчику.
Ой, очень хорошо.
Вошло душевно, да? Ты чувствуешь энергию Porsche в этом
You guys
гемоге?
getting too comfortable? Come on.
А, окей.
That's pretty nice then, all right?
It's awesome.
What I need to do is put that on the big roof with the view. So let's go down into the garden.
So lot of space.
What's pretty interesting about this was a former railroad spur. So I talk about the building being industrial.
Yep.
The railroad would have made deliveries to the building over 100 years
Just
ago.
inside the building?
We see the track, it comes all the way down from the LA River. That's where the main railroad track is. So we'll walk over it and you'll see. So the train would have rolled up, industrial loading dock, unload the goods and materials into the building. And then this comes back down into my office.
Crazy.
Man, I'm so happy. I'm like a child right now. I'm so excited. I don't know.
Okay, pick your color. What color do you want? Blue, red, yellow.
For me, yellow, please.
Yellow, there you go.
Oh, thanks.
You can have the blue, you don't get to pick.
The yellow
I'll take
edition.
the Red Bull. There
Good.
you go.
Thank you, sir.
Let me go show you guys what I call the chop shop.
Так, момент истины. Магнус нас сейчас запостит. We're ready.
There we go, crazy Russians. All right, you got to tag yourself because I'm not following you yet,
Yeah.
but I will be in a second.
Sure, thank
Yeah.
you.
Nicky Rush is doing very nice
This is my
content too.
moment of getting popular, you know?
Oh, I don't know. With this guy, you're already popular. Come on. Are you there? You're
Yeah.
there. Okay, done. We'll stick it on the old facey book, right? Here we go.
And location.
We can throw that in there.
Ah, perfect.
DTLA, perfecto. Okay, there we go. Boom. Let's see what's coming up. Is it
Off,
posting?
Magnus Walker.
Oh, there it is.
Done.
Whoa, whoa. You have notifications?
Yes.
I turn all that shit off. Doesn't that just ping you all the time?
But I leave it only for mentioning on the photo when somebody
I don't
mentions.
really-
Serious people, only for shave your beard.
Yeah, okay, well, some
Так,
guys
сейчас
say
мы
that.
идем в какой-то
Some
чоп-шоп.
guys say
Я пока не знаю, что такое чоп-шоп, и Коля тоже, но мы сейчас
No
узнаем.
shaving of the beard. See, this guy's just growing his beard. Like, this guy
Вот,
needs to try hard.
ребята, my followers are telling that I need to move it out.
No,
but
no.
Listen to
See,
Magnus.
this is what you're going for right here. This is the inspiration right here.
Вот, не буду я баки сбривать. Магнус сказал не сбривать. Все, извините, Магнус слишком крутой. Good.
Listen to the old man right here.
Так, подходим к какому-то чоп-шопу. Блин, Магнус вообще прям жесткий чел.
Body shop, chop shop, paint shop.
Magnus shop.
But what is chop mean? Chop?
Chop, cut up.
Ah,
So remember me showing you the car across the road with the motor and the suspension that's getting repainted? This is that car.
it will be in crazy red color, yeah?
No, it's
No?
going back to the original color.
What it will be?
Copper brown metallic.
Oh.
I'll show you original color.
This is a 946 turbo, yeah?
No, 930 turbo.
Ah, no, 930.
This
Sorry.
original color, original paint
Oh,
right
it's
there.
so beautiful.
Whoa!
Why it's red right now?
Like
Well, you know,
olive
the 80s
oil.
people like red, so it got painted different color. So that is original paint right there. So it's going back to
Very
that color.
unusual color, yeah?
Yeah, pretty
Very
unusual.
seldom.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
So this is chop shop. So body work gets done here. A lot of the cars are built here. All the welding and, you know, rusty stuff's done here and painted here, and then assembled across the road.
You listen to some old music here while you're working?
Old music. So this is part of the interior for that car. Here's another 1980 924 turbo.
Magnus, how long time it will take to make this car like a new one from this moment? What do you
From
think?
this moment on, it will probably be. It'll be painted within 2 weeks, and then assembly. You know, with a lot of work to do. We're going to go through all the suspension.
Yeah.
You know, send all the A-arms out to be powder coated. Stuff will be bead blasted, new shocks, rebuild the brakes. So I think to answer your question, probably realistically, it'll be 2 months. This car will be back on the road. A lot of the work has already been done to a certain degree, so it's all about the prep. But probably be 2 months. The car will be back on the road.
Cool. Amazing. Так, ну мы сейчас побывали в таком слесарном цеху, если говорить нашим языком. Эти машины, возможно, стоят в очереди на восстановление. Я уже не буду мучить Магнуса вопросами, потому что слишком много нам всего рассказал.
Я думаю, он, да,
Мы
круто.
мега респект, да, реально, мега респект. Так, идем сейчас с Магнусом попить кофейка. Вот. Очень душевно и клево. Прям мы под большим впечатлением. Этот мужик реально крут. Вот реально про него так вот можно сказать.
We're going to talk about growing the beard, right? This
Yeah,
guy's
yeah.
gotta stop shaving. Yeah.
I am on first stage.
Yeah, first stage pretty good.
I'm zero stage. I'm stock man.
Yeah, you got to stop shaving.
Покушать и попить кофе с Магнусом Уолкером бесценно. Для всего остального есть мастер-карт. Друзья, всем привет! Мы сейчас с Магнусом Уолкером в его замечательном месте. Мы отсняли порядка материала где-то на час. Он нам все показал. Здесь просто пипец какое место. Извините за простое выражение, но это просто нереально. Вот, а еще все вы ругаете мои баки, да, и я думаю, после Магнуса их уже сбрить наконец, но Магнус сказал, что баки is good, so...
Beard is good, so don't shave, keep on growing. This is a spectacular start, so beard in the wind moment right there.
Ребят, Магнус нереально крутой чувак, просто вообще у нас слов нет, он такой профессионал своего дела, такой душевный. Вот, снизу будет ссылочка на его аккаунт, на аккаунт Магнуса Уолкера. Please follow, подписывайтесь на Магнуса.
Whatever he said sounds good to me, so see you guys out there, and like I always say, let's get out and drive, pedal to the metal. Cheers and rock on. Yeah! Pedal to the metal!
Magnus, I want to leave you a little present from me.
Okay.
So this is my logo, and as you can see, here is this is like RPM zone. I got unusual fingers. Check out.
Yeah, I see that.
Pum, pum, pum,
Bum,
pum.
bum, 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 bum. Wum, pum, 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 pum. I like that.
Yeah, so
you just
this
need
is
to add the
logo.
beard in to the logo.
Yes.
Beard the logo. I like that. Let's check it out. There it is. Pedal to the
Yeah.
metal, to the red line and beyond. Woohoo! That's it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
this is
I'll
for
put
my
one of
metal.
these on the car. Thank you very much. Let me get you guys some stuff. Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
oh, man.
Let's go.
Let's go.
First of all, you each need the Hot Wheels. There you go. Take one of those.
Подарочки.
Thank you, sir.
There you go. You may be a small, actually. I'll give you a couple. You guys can each get some of these. This is the signature logo shirt.
Лянча, sorry.
We'll see if this guy's a small or medium. We're gonna
Yeah,
find
let's
out.
try it.
Let's try this small.
Man, we will promote your stuff in Russia. You'll get a bunch of orders from
There
Russia.
you go. Let's see if he's small or medium.
Оп. Отлично.
Small.
Good,
You
small.
like small? What are you, medium?
Medium or large?
There's medium. For you.
Thanks,
One more.
sir.
I'll give you a few more. This one you're gonna like, the Turbo one. One for you.
Oh, man, that's so
One for
cool.
you.
Thanks.
Какая щедрость.
This one you're gonna like. Check it out. You're gonna like this one.
Urban Outlaw, guys.
Oh, that's
See
cool.
what-
Here we go.
Yeah.
Past the red line.
That is amazing.
There's one for you. And then for you, you can get the pedal to the metal.
May I have large one?
Large pedal to the metal.
Yes.
Well, it's medium or 2X, so you gotta
Okay,
take
medium. Cool. Thanks.
Well, I'll get you a large and something else if you want large. There's large.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Last one for you.
Thanks, man.
And then you wear baseball caps?
Yes.
It's so classic.
There's 277.
Wow.
Pedal to the metal. And then last but not least,
Man, that's too cool.
you always ask me about the cheers, right? You asked me about that. See that says cheers there?
Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Oh, man, thanks.
And one for you, the key fob. There's you. Cheers. You know, I'll give you something different. You can get one slightly different. This one says pedal to the metal.
Yes, I like this saying.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'll put it on my E30 key.
to the
Can I
metal.
put it here?
Sure. There's
Thank you, sir. I'm so happy right now.
a
Woo!
couple stickers for you can share them around.
Thank you, man.
That's
Crazy.
it. Cool. Thanks for visiting, guys.
Magnus, thank you so much for your time. Russian audience and other audience will be satisfied.
Hey, to all the Russian outlaws and all the outlaws out there, thanks for visiting. Thanks for that bottle of vodka that you brought for me. And as we say, das vidanya. I'll see you guys on the next one. So, cheers, get out and drive. Pedal to the metal.
Oh, man.
Wiedersehen.
До свидания.
Vidanya.
No.
Чума. Чувак, я так счастлив сейчас.
Мы это сейчас обсудим, дядь. Давай выйдем, встанем где-нибудь. Ребят, ну, мы, если честно, и у меня, и у Коли культурный шок. Мы, когда ехали сюда, мы предполагали, ну как, ну, понятное дело, Магнусы разрывают на части, потому что он гиперпопулярен, и было непонятно, сколько он на нас выделит времени. В итоге мы с ним провели, по ощущениям, часа 3. С 9 часов, да, сейчас 1 с лишним, больше 3 часов. Он показал нам и рассказал все. Крайне душевный человек, идейный, и мне нравится в нем многое. Он мотивирует, прежде всего, всех, кто за ним наблюдает, да, на какие-то движения вперед, на свершения, на то, чтобы ты слушал зов своего сердца и двигался по той линии, по которой ты хочешь двигаться, а не по шаблону какой-то, да. Блин, ну это вообще, Коль, что скажешь вообще?
Очень четкий чувак. Я, если честно, когда приехал, к моему стыду, я не особо был в курсе его творчества, да. Но когда он все здесь провел экскурсию, все рассказал, показал, я прозрел. Реально, я сейчас, это даже не прикольный типа контент автомобильный, это мне сейчас в голову очень сильно запало, я сейчас буду это переваривать и думать, как он относится к жизни, к тому, что он делает.
У него интересные взгляды.
И вообще, да, очень, очень радикальный чувак. И он сейчас находится на таком, видно, на пути, на сложном, на развилке. С одной стороны, это как бы делать свое, да, следовать своим линиям, с другой стороны, ему нужно ресурсы, чтобы развиваться, да, и поэтому он хочет как-то попробовать монетизировать это, не хочет свою репутацию классную портить, это коммерция, потому что он реально, ему это не нравится, ему нравится pedal to the metal, вот так, все, вот она.
Да, он, кстати, дал нам всякий мерч.
Куча мерча, ребят, идем на его сайт, я ему обещал, что у него будет куча заказов из России, идем на его сайт, будет ссылка внизу, заказываем, все подряд.
Да, в общем, это видео, оно на основном канале лежит, и оно вообще, как бы, такие видео, снятые на iPhone, я их всегда выкладываю на втором канале, но здесь просто случай эксклюзивный.
Дело не в айфоне, дело в контенте, в содержании,
Ну,
ребята.
эксклюзивный контент, да, но хочу сказать, что вот такого рода контент я снимаю на телефон и выкладываю на основной канал, ссылка на который внизу в описании. Обязательно зайдите туда и посмотрите, что там есть. Также почти все видео, весь визит к Магнусу маячил на экране еще и уважаемый браза Никераш. Вот.
Привет.
Снизу в описании будет ссылка на его аккаунт в YouTube. Он блогерствует автомобильно здесь, в LA, так что тоже обязательно обратите внимание. Ну и также есть ссылка там на мой Инстаграм. Друзья, я надеюсь, что вам было по кайфу узнать историю этого человека, то, чем он живет, чем дышит. Отдельный ему респект за то, что до этого мы с ним увиделись всего 1 раз в Техасе. Осенью мы познакомились, вот несколько месяцев назад. Там немного пообщались. И вот насколько вот легок он на подъем, да, он нас встретил как родных, реально. Ну, слов нет. Все, я думаю, надо завершаться. Мы под сильным впечатлением. Надеюсь, удалось вам передать ту мотивацию, которую передает этот человек тем, кто за ним наблюдает и кто его окружает. Ой, Магнус Уолкер из Лос-Анджелеса. Спасибо тебе за то, что ты есть.
Растите бороду.
И растите бороду, да.